Hi, my name is Amanda Metcalf, and I want to talk to you about a project that my cousin Matt and I are going to be pursuing here in the next few weeks. We're heading over to Kurdistan, Iraq to do some research that will ultimately end up in a dissertation, but also a very artistic and culturally rich photojournalism piece. The reason we've chosen Kurdistan, Iraq is because of some incredible initiatives that are occurring over there for and by women. Freedom is something that's really important for Americans, okay? So this is why we are focusing on an area that is struggling for freedom. So there's three parts of this project. One is to highlight some of these initiatives, the leadership strategies and the leadership roles that women are taking on. For many generations, the Kurds have been stateless. And how this translates to women is intersecting constructs of oppression, which is statelessness, ethnic, religious, cultural, and gendered persecution that happens. Okay, so this has been happening multi-generationally. However, this generation is doing something new, and there's many names for it, but one of them is the Kurdish Women's Project. So what we see on the news is a lot of women taking up arms, which in itself is a threat to patriarchism in the region. So that's spurring some consideration of basic human rights for women in that region, which is really important for Americans, and it should be important for Americans to be considering this on a global scale. So women are struggling for basic human rights every single day of their lives over there. But this generation's doing something about it. So the purpose of Matt and I's visit is to gain understanding about this project and these female initiatives, but not just the combat part. This is a very small part of what they're doing. There's some very impressive leadership roles and leadership strategies that are occurring over there. And one of the biggest purposes of these leadership roles is to initiate a system that employs participation of all people. Okay, this fundamentally creates human rights in a region. So some of the strategies that we'll be discussing, we'll probably be hearing from women, is awareness raising, educating, highlighting cultural and ethnic values of the Kurds, and doing this at a very grassroots level. So this is what the women are doing, and I want to look specifically at the cultural and leadership constructs that are blending in order to create these initiatives that are working really well to create human rights, but they're also kicking butt on ISIS by using these strategies. Okay, so the second part of the project is Matt and I want to create some awareness for Americans here. It's important to dispel hatred by creating understanding, and hatred usually evolves because of a misunderstanding of differing ideologies. Okay, so the Middle East obviously has differing ideologies from us, and we want to bring those to light and help people understand that. There is also a bit of a barrier of understanding about what displaced people, stateless people, oppressed and persecuted people are going through. There's several levels of persecution going on there, as I mentioned: ethnic, cultural, religious, political persecution. They've endured all of them for many, many years, and they're finding ways to maneuver through this and create some freedom initiatives for themselves, some democracy initiatives. One of the democracy initiatives is called Confederate Democracy, which is working very well in Syria, and they're pushing into Syria and achieving some state strongholds against ISIS, which is really impressive, and we'll bring that information back through this project. The third thing is Matt and I are asking for some support from you in going into a region that is culturally rich and full of amazing and impressive people, remarkable people. And these leadership strategies that they are, particularly the women are employing, are extremely remarkable and effective. Okay, so we're asking for financial support, but it's not for us, okay? Matt and I's initiatives and projects are funded. However, we're going in to interview and talk to and highlight the strategies of women and what they're accomplishing in the human rights field, but they kind of need some financial support too, because this occurs all at a grassroots level. And stateless people, they don't get a lot of federal funding. They kind of do it for them, by them. So the money that we raise will go to women's organizations. One in particular that's established in a city that we're going to is Rojak. And this is a grassroots women's organization that just not only just cares for the women, but employs and teaches some of these leadership strategies. It allows women to go into society and transmit some of these ideologies that will, of course, begin to perpetuate human rights. So that's what we're asking for. I hope you choose to fund a little bit of this initiative, but if you don't, either way, we'll come back with some very rich, fun, impressive artwork and research. Thank you for your time.